The man finally met the living people and greeted them. But the other party not only did not respond. Cautiously the man pulled out the gun at his waist. In this apocalyptic world filled with zombies, there are only a few humans who survive. Due to the lack of food, trust between humans has been lost. In order to survive, the 3 members of Awei's family had been drifting on the boat for 2.5 months. Although it is safe to remain on the ship, food is the biggest problem. One day, Awei saw an abandoned cruise ship. So he rowed the boat over to the yacht to see if there was food on board. For safety's sake, he carefully checked the situation inside with a mirror. After confirming that nothing is abnormal, Awei came to the cabin. This time he was lucky, and he found enough food to survive on the ship for several months. However, when he was happy about this, suddenly there was a noise in the room. But Awei didn't take it seriously. Returned to the ship with a box full of food. Little did he know that due to his own carelessness, Arjun's wife is in grave danger. Knowing that her husband found food on the cruise, she secretly went on a cruise while her husband was sleeping. Her only goal is to find a razor for her husband. Hearing another sound, Arjun suddenly felt something was wrong. Then turn around and leave quickly. But it's too late. After an unknown amount of time, Arjun was awakened by her daughter's cries. As she was holding her daughter, and was about to go see Arjun. But he found a pool of blood on the ground. A bad feeling immediately rose in his heart. Awei opened the toilet, and saw his wife bandaging his wound. The confused husband had no idea what was going on. It was only after Arjun took out a countdown bracelet, and placed it on his hand. He knew that his wife had been bitten by a zombie. There are 48 hours before Arjun turns into a zombie. But Awei didn't panic, he immediately packed up and saluted. Because according to the map issued by the government, there is a rescue station they set up on land. Maybe there's a cure for the virus in there. Without further ado, the family immediately set off. However, land is much more dangerous than ships. They must always be on the lookout. Luckily, I lucked out and found a car a short walk away. But while Awei was refueling the car, Arjun saw a zombie walking towards him. He wanted to remind Awei, but he was afraid that his voice would disturb the zombies. So he could only turn on the turn signal. After Awei saw it, he immediately understood what his wife meant. Before the zombies got to him, he rushed back to the car. Kick the floor oil and leave quickly. But after driving for a long time, Arjun actually found his injuries getting worse. Is the embryo of becoming a zombie. So as not to harm the family. Arjun really wanted to get out of the car and leave. Seeing Arjun so emotional, Awei had no choice but to stop the car. Stepping forward to catch up with his wife, who was about to leave. Arjun knows his end, and also knows that there is no cure. But even so, Awei still did not want to give up. He helped his wife into the car, so that Arjun would not continue to do stupid things. He even broke the door handle on purpose. In this way, they continued to set off towards their goal. But not long after they left, the accident happened again. Someone suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. Awei subconsciously avoided it. A car accident happened by accident. Arjun was killed by a tree. The branch pierced his stomach. Meanwhile, Awei fainted from the enormous impact. Waiting for Awei to wake up. See a word written on the car door. And his wife's face was full of blood. It didn't take long for the mutations to occur. He wanted to comfort his frightened daughter. But he was accidentally bitten by his wife, who had turned into a zombie. After taking her daughter out of the car, Awei walked back, and he had to escort his wife for the last one with his own hands. After finishing everything, Awei collapsed to the ground in despair. Roared, angry and unwilling. He thought of going with his wife, but for the sake of her daughter, who was only a few months old. At least he couldn't just give up now. So he resolutely took off the bracelet on his wife's hand, put it in his hand, and adjusted the countdown to 48 hours. Awei set off again, with his daughter on his back. Because before the mutation, he had to entrust his daughter to someone he could trust. On the way, her daughter kept crying. So he sprayed the perfume his wife uses. Her daughter immediately stopped crying when she smelled a familiar smell. But at this time, Awei saw the culprit that caused their car accident. But when he was about to take a branch to attack him, suddenly a girl appears and stops him. The girl sliced her palm with a sharp stone. The zombie immediately followed after smelling blood. It turns out that this zombie is also very close to the girl. He only changed his way of letting his relatives stay by his side. Then, Awei followed the map and continued walking towards the rescue station. Finally, when it was already dark, he arrived at his destination smoothly. But this place was a little different from what he had imagined. It was so dark inside that it didn't look human at all. But when he looked around, he suddenly found a woman sitting in a corner. Seeing the wound on Awei's arm, the woman bandaged it up briefly. Then tell him that this place is no longer a rescue site. Due to the rapid spread of the virus, the government has cancelled it. Awei originally wanted to entrust his daughter to that woman, but accidentally saw him take off the wig on his head. He was taking medicine, apparently suffering from an incurable disease. Awei had no choice but to give up this idea. Early in the morning, he said goodbye to the woman and continued on his way with his daughter on his back. On the way, he saw many zombies burying their heads in the ground. As long as they pass, the zombie will wake up. Not long after, Awei saw a car. He wanted to see if the car could be used. But unexpectedly the owner was beside him. Turns out the zombies followed him. But the shot just now will attract more zombies. It turned out that the fat man was stuck in the hole. He asked Awei to help him. But after talking, zombies appear not far from there. Before I could think about it, after getting the car keys, Awei got into the car directly and stepped on the accelerator to save the fat man. Before the zombies arrived, they left here. After that, the fat man took Awei to where he and his wife lived. Their relationship looks very good. The first thing the fat man's brother did, when he returned, he gave the necklace he found to the woman. But he didn't know that this was just a superficial phenomenon. As soon as the fat man turned around to leave, Xiaomi threw away the necklace in disgust, and Awei was also dumbfounded. As soon as Awei sat down to rest, the fat man wanted to take him for a walk. He had no choice but to give his daughter to Xiaomi. But he didn't expect that the fat man actually taught him to practice shooting skills. Many zombies gathered beside the cage ahead. It was as if something was pulling them in, but Awei didn't think much of it. Under the leadership of the fat man, the two of them quickly eliminated all the zombies. But when they got closer, Awei realized that there was a girl locked up in the cage. This girl was the girl he met before. He thought he could entrust his daughter to him. It turned out that the fat man was using other people's lives to play games. So he's definitely not a good person. At this time, when Xiaomai was taking care of her daughter, He suddenly discovered that his daughter was unemployed. He instantly understood what was going on. But he did not choose to make a statement. Washing her daughter's clothes to dry. Ah Wei, who came back, saw this scene. Understood that Xiaomi already knew that he was infected with the virus. Compared with the fat man, Xiaomi is not bad. Perhaps he could entrust his daughter to him. At night, Ah Wei finally made up his mind as time was running out. After reluctantly saying goodbye to his daughter, Ah Wei went out alone. Armed with government-issued syringes, he was preparing to end his own life. At a critical moment, Xiaomi suddenly appeared with his daughter in his arms. He knew Ah Wei's aim, that he had been infected with the virus. But when Ah Wei asked Xiaomi to help her, Xiaomi said that he could not take good care of his daughter. It turned out that she and the fat man were not husband and wife at all. Her husband had been killed by the fat man. If you really think about your daughter, you have to get him out of here. Hearing this, coupled with what a fat man does during the day, making Ah Wei even more convinced of the fat man's character. It seems that suicide should be encouraged. Ah Wei suddenly thought of the family he met by the river. They have 2 children, and they might be able to help him. So he decided to take her there to try his luck. Unexpectedly, as soon as the words fell, the fat man who appeared suddenly hit Ah Wei. When he woke up, he found that he was locked up with the girl. But he will be a zombie in no time. Ah Wei had to think of a way out. Currently, zombies are approaching here. Look at the fat intestine hanging from the cage. Ah Wei came up with a plan to tie it up with ropes and throw it away. The zombies are attracted, and they make their way out. Using this method, the 2 managed to escape. Then he slipped into the room, waking up the sleeping Xiaomi. Then carried his daughter to go. The fat man, who was sleeping like a dead pig, didn't notice that they were running away. If there is no accident, the accident will happen soon. As soon as they were about to get into the car, the fat man rushed out of the room with a shotgun. Xiaomi wanted to stop him, but he was shot by the fat man. Seeing the fat man was about to chase him, Ah Wei could only run away. They ran all the way to a cave, and finally escaped pursuit. The angry fat man kept screaming outside. They did not dare to make a sound. Fortunately, the fat man didn't take long to leave. Now he had to wait until dawn before setting off. However, in the middle of the night the girl was awakened by a strange sound. He picked up the flashlight and saw Ah Wei licking the blood on the stone wall. Obviously, gradually he became bloodthirsty. After dawn, Ah Wei, who had returned to normal, continued his journey with his daughter and the girl. But when he was walking under a tree, the girl stopped. It turns out that the zombie is the girl's father. But now he was killed by the tribe and hid in this tree. After the girl finished praying to her father, they continued on their way, but after a long walk, Ah Wei felt unwell. At this time, the distance changed completely, and only 9 hours remained. After a painful struggle, Ah Wei fell to the ground. Luckily the girl was carrying her daughter. Relieved, they got back up and headed for their destination. They finally found the family, but found that the man was digging graves for the family. Upon entering, they found that he had also been bitten by a zombie. He wanted to entrust his daughter to them. But I didn't expect the result to be like this. The man persuaded Ah Wei, if he left this world with his daughter, Han Shuo would leave 2 bullets for him. Ah Wei didn't hesitate, and immediately turned around and left. Not long after he left, he heard a loud gunshot behind him. The man shot first his wife and daughter, and finally himself. Away took the man's gun and sat there stupidly. Is it really over? But the father of his daughter forced him to give up this idea again. The girl brought her daughter to Away, telling him that his clan is not far away. Asked if she wanted to go with him. The girl's words made Away see hope again. It would undoubtedly be the best choice to send his daughter to their tribe to be raised. So he agreed emphatically. The two immediately departed. But when they passed a cave, there are many zombies facing the wall. The girl said that it was a sleeping zombie. They like dark places. Like a zombie buried in the ground. It's fine if it doesn't bother them. But when going through the tunnel, did not expect to see a fat man when about to reach the exit. The fat man seemed to have realized something. Walked towards this side slowly, to attract the attention of others. Away placed the girl and her daughter. Then come to the back of the truck and scream the fat man's name. Then immediately hide among the zombies. But to find Away, the fat man started killing zombies indiscriminately. But right now Away was ready to fight back. Seeing that he would be next, he shot the fat man decisively. Too bad that didn't hit the nail on the head. The weak Away was knocked to the ground by the fat man. At this time, the fat man found the two children in the car. Without saying anything, he dragged the girl away and beat her. Then pick up Away's daughter. Away dragged his exhausted body to get up again. When he walked over, he found that the fat man had not hurt his daughter. It turned out that because of the gunshot wound, the fat man was seriously injured. In the last moments of his life, he chose to be kind. Fortunately, the girl is fine. But he's also a little delirious from a head injury. At this time, Away also gradually lost consciousness. After walking for a while, he finally couldn't hold on. Immediately put her daughter down. Just a few steps away, Away fell to the ground. When he woke up, dirt had covered his entire face. He kept wiping with his hands, trying to stay awake. Looking at the carcass at the side, he couldn't even suppress his appetite. Seeing his daughter on the other side, Away thought of a way. He put on the carcass and continued to trudge forward under the girl's support. When he couldn't hold on any longer, Away immediately stopped, tied the carcass to a branch, and told the girl,
Look after her for me, okay? Because I'm going now. Look after her for me. Will you do that for me, Mitcha?
I will.
All right, mate.
I promise.
Thank you.
Away said his last goodbye to his daughter, then carried him on his back. To prevent himself from hurting them, Away put something in her mouth, binds his hands tightly. After doing all this, Away also completely turned into a zombie. But he still did not stop. At this time, the clan that killed the zombies in front was about to leave, when they suddenly heard the baby crying in the back. They turned back together, seeing a very shocking sight. As the fog in front of him slowly cleared, a strange figure appeared in front of him, a zombie carrying his daughter on his back. Under the guidance of the carcass, he continued to move forward with a heavy load. As a father, Away had completed his last mission. After saving the two children, they also let Away go for the last time. At the end of the film, Away's daughter is brought back to the tribe by them. Obviously, this clan is also very fond of this child. A tribe accidentally finds a word of thanks in the child's stomach. This was the last love that the father left for his daughter before his death. Also his expression of gratitude to the tribe that took care of his daughter.